functionality of the false self-image. The first function of the false self is that it conditions the narcissist and the cluster personality to become overly dependent upon it for a false sense of security, while ensuring others that the narcissist and the cluster personality has the capacity to connect to others in a meaningful way. So the false self-image will have the cluster personality and the narcissist overly dependent upon it. Okay, while at the same time, when it comes to us or someone else who has a relationship with the cluster personality, the false self-image gives a false image. Okay, that's what it is. False image. It gives the false reassuring of the narcissist having the capacity to connect to you or anyone else, when that's not true. The cluster personality and the narcissist, they don't know how to connect to other people. They don't have the capacity to do it, nor do they have the desire to do it. Yet, the false self gives us the illusion that the cluster personality and the narcissist has the capacity to connect when they do not. Okay, second function of the false self-image. It encourages the narcissist and the cluster personality to behave like a control freak and a control junkie who will stop at nothing to supply the false self-image with those who are grieved by trauma in order to feed off of his or her emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. Third functionality operates as a middleman between the detached and those who are emotionally invested. Fourth functionality of the false self-image is that it works as an entity which keeps both the cluster B personality and those who are source supply in captivity of a traumatic, unresolved past. It becomes irrelevant whether or not the trauma is yours or belongs to the narcissist or the cluster B personality. So basically, the false self-image, in order to maintain its survival, it will function seemingly as an entity which keep both you and the cluster B personality stuck in an unresolved traumatic past. And it doesn't matter whose traumatic past it belongs to, because you're connected. You're involved with him or her, the narcissist, that is, the cluster B personality, that is. So it doesn't matter whose traumatic past it belongs to. Both you and the cluster B personality are captives of the false self-image. Next function. The false self-image, the false self-image functions as an energy whore. The lower your energy, vibration, and frequency, the better the false self-image of the narcissist likes it. That's pretty self-explanatory. All source supply with childhood trauma more than likely have gateways which have not been constructively resolved. The false self-image of the narcissist and the cluster B personality will use gateways as a path to possible lifelong source supply of targeted prey. So, if there are gateways or portals, more than likely you will find some sort of traumatic event or events in that person's life. So the false self-image of the cluster B personality or narcissist will use the gateways or portals as a path to possible lifelong source supply. First tool, take steps to honor and accept that as a human being, experiencing emotions do not define your identity. Next tool, remember that the narcissist or cluster B personality cannot be sincere or genuine about anything other than feeding his or her false self-image. Third tool, there are 3 key words in the phrase false self-image, and they are false, self, and image. Those are 3 key words: false, self, and image. What's false means it's not real. The self, that means you. your essence, everything that makes you you, that's the self. Your spirit, your soul, your energy, body, your consciousness. The image, that means the representation. Okay, is the image false or is it true? Is it genuine or is it ingenuine or insincere or inauthentic? So the image is a representation of something or someone. Okay? Critical questions. First question: how would you say the false self-image of the narcissist or the cluster B personality has served you? Would you say that it has or is currently serving you? Why or why not? Next question: what painful issues go unresolved for you? Third question: are you attempting to save the narcissist or yourself from an unresolved traumatic past? That third question is also quite profound, I think. Are you attempting to save the narcissist or the personality, right? Or are you attempting to save yourself from an unresolved traumatic past? When Sodom and Gomorrah had fallen and people were running, literally running from the chaos, and there was a particular woman who was warned not to look back or she would turn into a pillar of salt. And when she turned around, she turned into a pillar of salt. To me, that represents of her turning back and looking at her past. That was very painful. She didn't want to let it go. It went unresolved. She turned around and she kept focusing on it. She turned into a pillar of salt. And when she turned into a pillar of salt, she remained stagnant. She was a statue. She was a pillar of salt, statue. Okay, she remained stagnant. So as long as she kept looking behind her, looking at her past, that was very chaotic, very painful, she didn't want to let it go, she remained a pillar of salt. Therefore, she remained stagnant. I think about that as I read that question. Are you attempting to save the narcissist or yourself from an unresolved past or traumatic past? Because when we keep looking back, aren't we stagnant? Yeah. Absolutely. So as you're running away from the chaos at one point, but then you keep looking back at another point, who are you really trying to save? Next question. What is the purpose of the relationship with the cluster B personality or narcissist? So what is the purpose? Once you answer that question, yes, it can be quite the game changer. And this question can be posed to any relationship we have. What is the purpose of it? So why are we experiencing such a painful relationship with this particular person or these types of individuals? What is the purpose? Maybe we're missing something. A lesson, that is. A message. Or a warning. Maybe we're missing something. So what is the purpose of the relationship? What is the purpose of the false self-image? Yeah. So what is the purpose of the false self-image? Perhaps it's a torture chamber. Is that what the false self-image is for you? Is it an arrangement to keep you from resolving your traumatic past? Maybe it's time to get real about who you are and how you show up in the world. So the purpose of the false self-image may be to keep you from knowing who you really are. Okay, and maybe you have a false self-image of your own. Maybe we all have a false self-image of our own that we pull out of the closet every now and then.